Okay, welcome pre-calculus class. Today we are going to, welcome America, welcome Justin Bieber. Today we are going to do two problems. I will attach the worksheet. The directions for this problem, we're going to be doing numbers 11 and 12. Ask us to find all the real zeros of each polynomial function and then factor it. And we're going to start with number 11. So our first step is to write out all the possible zeros that we could have. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to take the P over Q, the factors of -2 over the factors of 4. We don't really have to worry about the negative because it's just going to be plus or minus. So let's go ahead and just write those out, plus or minus. Okay, so it could be 1 or 2. Those are all the factors of -2. Now we're going to put those over the factors of 4. And the factors of 4 are plus or minus 1, 2, and 4, right? And I'm just going to write them all out, even though we don't really need them because a lot of them are going to cancel. So if I put 1, those are over 1, because 1 is a factor of 4. The next factor of 4 is 2. So I'm going to put those same two numbers over 2.
We're just gonna write it
Now we won't need 2 over 2 because that's equal to 1 and we already have 1. Now I'm going to take 1 and 2 and put them over the last factor of 4, which is 4.
These are fine.
And we won't need 2/4 because we've already covered that with 1/2. So the possible zeros that we have are plus or minus 1, 2, or 1/4. Wait, and 1/2. I missed the 1/2 and the 1/2. Okay, so now let's look to see, before we start dividing and picking, guessing, let's look to see how many possible negative and positive zeros we could have. So if I take a look at f of x, let's see how many sign changes there are. This is positive, that's no sign change. But from this positive to this negative is a sign change. So that's one sign change for positive values, which means that we will have one positive zero. So if we take a guess on our zeros, we could pick one of the positive ones. And if that goes in evenly, we're not going to pick another positive one because we know there's only one. Negative. If I look at f of negative x, and I'll erase this up, I'll just write it over here, f of negative x. What's going to happen when I put that to the 4th power and to the 2nd power? All those negatives are going to cancel because I have negative x times negative x times negative x times negative x. 4 negatives, all those are going to cancel. So the sign of that term is going to stay the same, as well as the sign of the next term, 7x squared. That's going to stay the same because it's x squared. That's an even exponent. Are you with me? So we should only have one sign change for f of negative x as well, which means we only have one negative 0. So we have one positive 0 and one negative 0. Now, we're only doing real zeros, but if we only have one positive and one negative, and we have a degree of 4, that means we're going to have 2 imaginary zeros. Who loves imaginary numbers in here? Anyone? I didn't get, Justin, I didn't get one hand up. Not Kayla? No. Okay, so now that I know that, now I'm going to go ahead and start trying some numbers. So I'm going to do one that I know doesn't go in so you can see what happens if you pick it. And I usually start with 1 because a lot of times 1 does go in, 1 or negative 1. So let's say we start with 1. This is 4x to the 4th, 0x cubed, 7x squared, 0x's, negative 2. So then we just synthetically, very quickly, tell me if I make a mistake. Okay, I can stop right there. I can see that I'm not going to have a remainder of 0, and 1 is not going to go in evenly. So I'm just going to erase that. That didn't work. And I'm going to try 1/2, which I already know works. Bring down the 4. 4 times 1/2 is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 1/2 times 8 is 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 times 1/2 is 2. And we have a remainder of 0. That means that 1/2 is a 0. Because it went in evenly. We good? Now, we already know that there's only one positive 0. So we're not going to try, we already tried 1. We're not going to try 2. We're not going to try 1/4 because we know they're not going to work. So now we're going to try a negative. Now, here's really important. Is everyone listening?
Yes.
Okay. Once you divide out, put your phones away. This is super important. I see this every single year. Once you divide a 0 out, do not, I repeat, do not start over from the beginning, okay? Because that's like, this is a number here. And if I divided 2 out of 12, and I had 6 left, and I want to see what the factors left are, I'm not going to go back to the 12. I'm going to continue with the 6. And that's what we're doing here. You don't want to start, if I choose my next 0 to be -1/2, I'm not going to start from the top and plug -1/2 into the original number, okay? We already know that 1/2 is a factor, so we pulled that out. We're going to start from here, and we are going to now divide, or try to divide, 1/2 in, and see if -1/2, and see if that's a 0. So my next number goes right here. Okay, so here we go. This is a -1/2. All right, -1/2 times 4, -2. -2 plus 2, 0. 0 times 1/2, 0. 0 plus 8, 8. Half of 8 is 4, but it's negative. That goes in evenly. So now we found the positive and the negative 0 that we're looking for. And what we have left shouldn't factor. It should be, because we know it's gonna have 2 imaginary values. This 4 represented x, there was the leading coefficient for x to the 4th, and we divided an x out of it. So this 4 represents 4x cubes, because we divided an x out. So this 4 represents 4x squareds. So when I rewrite this, this is gonna be, I'm gonna write it over here, 4x squared, and this is plus 8. And that doesn't factor. We already know this doesn't factor, because if you think of a quadratic, the parent function x squared, and you shoot that up 8, it doesn't intersect the x-axis. It doesn't have any zeros. The zeros are actually, they're imaginary. So when I can do that here, you'll see, this is what it looks like if you work it out algebraically. We got a negative. Now I've got x squared equals -2. And if I try to take the square root, I'm taking the square root of a negative value, which is going to be imaginary. Now, the directions for these problems just say find all the real zeros, so, and then factor. So now all we have to do is write. We don't have to go through all this. That was just what I was showing you. We just have to factor and we're done. So for 1/2, when you're writing a factor, so f of x, you're not going to write x minus, gosh, here we go. You're not going to write x minus 1/2. don't know if you guys remember this from Algebra 2. You take the 2, you throw it in front, so it's 2x minus 1. And I'll show you why in just a second. So, we've got 2x minus 1, we've got 2x plus 1, and then we've got 4x squared plus 8. I can factor out of 4 and get x squared plus 2. So I'm going to put the 4 in front and the x squared plus 2 at the end. Now the reason why these are the factors for 1/2 and negative 1/2, if I put in, what number could I put in for x here to make this factor 0? And that's going to be positive 1/2, because 2 times positive 1/2 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. This one, what could I put in for this x, substitute in for this x, to make this factor 0? It's going to be negative 1/2, because negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1, plus 1 makes that 0. So that's where those come from. And I think we're finished, because it said to find all the real zeros and then factor. If we had to find all the zeros, then we would continue further, and which is going to be another class, and we'll talk about that another day. Let's go to number 12. Is anyone still writing this down? Gracie, you sure you don't want to show your mom jeans?
I think I'm trying.
Gracie wore mom jeans today, but America, you will not be seeing them. Maybe another day.
Maybe as a surprise.
That'd be amazing. I'm kind of disappointed that I was really hoping to have a mom jean cameo today.
Is anyone else wearing one?
Is anyone else wearing mom jeans? Anyone? Jonathan? Not today.
You're not wearing mom jeans?
Do you want me to cameo?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do want you to cameo. Okay, America, here's, oh, this
You
isn't
can't
gonna
even
work.
see them. I'm wearing mom jeans. That's all.
The best. I want a cameo of mom jeans every day. And I want like a real mom jeans with an elastic waist. Like I want like real, like, cause those are like kind of cute mom
Straight from the
jeans.
80s.
Straight up 1980s. Yes.
I'll go
Hardcore.
thrifting this weekend. I'll come
You-
back. Get
okay.
some elastic waistband jeans.
Please. Okay. Number 12. So number 12 asks to find k such that this polynomial has a factor of x minus 2. So we need x minus 2 to go in evenly. So we're going to divide it in, and then we're going to set k equal to 0 to make sure that the remainder is equal to 0, because that's what we need. So we're almost done, America. So since the factor is x minus 2, the 0 is at 2. So 2 goes into all the coefficients. 1, negative k, and 2. Now we're going to start factoring, or sorry, synthetic division. This, it says negative k plus 2. I'm just going to write that as 2 minus k. When I multiply 2 by 2 minus k, I get 4, because you have to distribute the 2. I get 4 minus 2k. Then you have to add k to that, so that will just be 4 minus k. Then you have to multiply 2 by 4 minus k, so you should get 8 minus 2k. And then you have to add 2 to that, so that should be 10 minus 2k. Now we need the remainder. This is the remainder here. We need that to be 0. So we're going to set this remainder equal to 0 and solve for the value of k that would make this remainder 0, so that x minus 2 is a factor. And that's just basic algebra. 10 minus 2k equals 0. That's negative 2k equals negative 10. So k is 5. And we have answered the question. The question is asking to find k such that this polynomial has a factor of x minus 2. Now it's, if we set k equal to 5, x minus 2 is a factor. We done? All right.